Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Zagard-tastic stream. It is I, your friend, the one, the only Z-A single G-R Zagard. And we are joined together with Claire and the Mythology Guy.
Hello!
Hi, guys.
We just saw Zach Snyder's Justice League!
Here in the Dragon's Den.
Yeah, we did. We spent 4 goddamn hours watching.
Yeah, and it was
more
worth
like
it.
5 because we took breaks every hour.
Because it's now 9, so it's been a little while.
It's been a while.
We started like 4:30.
It's been a
like
while.
A half-hour break in between.
And I'm all dressed up for it, and
Me
so
too.
are we. These two
We
are
are
a couple of traitors who should be ashamed of themselves.
I'm sorry. Here, I'll wear the more appropriate attire.
Yeah,
you
and
can-
don't
you
worry, I
can
have
go
my Harry
straight.
Potter snitch earrings on. Perfect.
I'm the only one who dressed up for this.
I just trolled.
I don't have any DC comics.
This is me trolling.
I've had this shirt since Man of Steel came out, and I've barely worn it, and I was like, today's the day.
Nice. Yeah, I don't have any DC shirts. I was just wearing this as a joke, and he happened to be wearing the jacket.
I just always wear this jacket, and I just happen to put on this shirt.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, this is a remake of the Justice League movie, which made in the way that basically Zack Snyder was able to do everything he had in mind because it's 4 hours long.
Yeah,
like
he had no restraint or
everything, he was like, you know what, I wanted to include that goddamn coffee cup scene, and we're putting that coffee cup scene in the damn
I want
movie.
to see the leaf on the coffee.
I really needed to see Ezra Miller touch somebody's hair.
We will get to that. No, you'd think that this would be a bad thing, that this would drone on. And here's the thing, it feels like a 4-hour film. It definitely does.
But it wasn't hard to get through.
I really enjoyed this film.
I did too.
Actually,
Same.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm delightfully surprised.
Yeah, same. This is the best movie I think Zack Snyder done. I have not seen 300. Maybe that's better.
Have you seen Watchmen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was not a fan of Watchmen. It's okay.
Oh, okay, I get it.
It's beautiful to look at, but I was just like, this was more entertaining to me than Watchmen.
One of the reasons people have a lot of respect for that is because it's a very, very loyal adaptation of the comics.
Yeah.
As part of the thing.
Don't make it as
He
entertaining,
really makes
though.
it look like the comic came to life. No, I get that. Yeah. But it's a good adaptation.
Right.
Now, okay, so I already know what some of you are going to be saying. Mythology Guy, what are you doing? This is myth-related. This is very myth-related. Not only is Wonder Woman highly rooted in Greek mythology, not only is Aquaman highly rooted in Greek mythology, there are Greek gods in the movie.
Yeah, there is literally Zeus, Ares, and...
Artemis. Like, they're all in the film.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And on top of that, this film was produced by Atlas Entertainment. And that really, guys, that's all you need.
And that's one of the first jokes he made when he saw the...
I didn't even know Atlas was still around, but apparently he is around, and he is producing Zack Snyder films.
He does it all.
Yeah, he holds up the
Atlas.
Snyderverse.
Yeah, he's carrying the franchise.
He's carrying the franchise.
Okay, so Claire, you're the only one here who didn't see the original Justice League.
No.
Yeah, you didn't see the Whedon cut.
The actual theatrical.
You good?
By the way, it's also the canon version. This is technically not canon.
This better become
This
canon.
is basically canon for all intents and purposes because, like, everyone... you were just telling me how the Joss Whedon cut was, and it was I could tell it was a mess compared to this.
Yeah. Well, it's because you could tell, you could literally tell two people were like, you know what, I want to play with these toys. No, I want to play with these toys.
I want to do it my way.
Yeah.
Mom, he drew over what I drew.
Yeah, and he totally did. Joss Whedon totally did that. He's like, I'm gonna cut out these really important scenes with the Flash and all these things that was like, you need this in the story.
Is, Joss Whedon's not a bad director. He can be very good. He's done some really great stuff. But the problem is, like, it's with that theatrical version, it's two very different directors, like trying to work on the same thing, and it doesn't mesh well.
Exactly,
it makes a mess.
Yeah,
It's
they
an absolute
contrast so much. So, like, I said Joss Whedon before, right? Not Zack Snyder. Yes, Joss Whedon's cut was just kind of a mess because his tone was completely different from what Zack Snyder was doing.
It shows. It really when you see this film, all that stuff in the original cut, where you're like, wait, what? Where did we? What's going on? Now you're in this one, you're like, oh,
yeah,
that's what happened.
That's how they got here.
There were literally like 5 or 6 times where Andrew and I were like, Oh, that explains this weird.
That's why that was.
And here I am, like, why wasn't this explained before?
Yeah, we're like he and I are spending this movie going, oh, that's a cool scene, and then we lean over to Claire, that wasn't in the Whedon version.
Yeah, I'm like, that should have been.
And she's like, what?
The one gripe that I think the three of us and literally everybody has agreed is that the movie is a bit too long. You could have cut it down to 3 hours by cutting out some scenes or making some of the slow motion scenes.
They could have at
longer.
least cut it to 3.5.
There's a lot I don't want cut out, but I can think of at least a couple scenes that should be cut out.
That could be, for sure.
One in particular is really weird.
Well, yeah, there's there's two, I think, that just didn't need to be there at all. Like, and it's like the weird slow-mo coffee leaf thing where she's walking slowly in the rain. And the flash scene.
This incredibly intense scene, you guys. Lois Lane gets coffee.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. They zoom in, they show you the barista makes a leaf with it. And
it's like, what is this?
I remember,
film about
so much
art?
like dedicated to it that Zagard literally went, that is a good leaf.
Yeah, he's like,
when we got to that scene. And then it immediately gets covered by a lid, and then he got upset. He was like, wait, why did you do it if you're just going to cover it?
As someone who has worked in a cafe and actually had to make... No, I've done it before.
You have, yeah.
Yeah, so I know how hard it is to do it that well, but then they put the lid on, I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah.
The part of the leaf is something
you sent me pictures, and you tried really hard, so you're like, mad respect. Right? Oh, they covered it! Why did they cover it?
Amy Adams was just like between scenes getting coffee, and she turned around, Zach, why are you recording me? Shh, keep going.
This is
gonna work.
And literally, it's like slow motion of her, it's slow motion of her getting the coffee, walking out with the umbrella in the rain, walking down the street. It's at least like 5 minutes of the film.
Don't understand. We need to know that she has coffee.
Apparently.
And not only that, she's buying multiple coffees?
She had to give it to the police officer.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The guy
reason.
Because we have to establish that relationship.
It's because it's the guy who sits in front of the memorial of Superman.
Okay.
Yeah, she's always visiting
I was so wrapped up in my thinking about that leaf, you know.
Same. I missed that.
It was too much. Like, I couldn't handle all of that story all at once, you know, too much going on.
Yeah, if they had just cut to her handing him the coffee.
They should have slowed it down more.
If it was like, instead of her buying the coffee and walking, it was just her handing it to him, the scene would have been the exact same.
It would have made, like, it would have showed her still in grief, you know, visiting the memorial. Yeah. You know, it's just...
There's a lot of good stuff in this film, because we see, like you just said, we see Lois Lane's grief.
Yeah.
We see Cyborg is much better in this film.
Before Cyborg is literally, I am Robot Man. I do Robot Man things.
In the Whedon cut, Cyborg is there.
They just massacred his character.
And I did not give a shit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they massacred his character. I would say they just took his character out.
Yeah.
Like, massacring is like the Last Jedi. This is just no movie.
Yeah.
This is like... oh, by the way, Cyborg's in the film. Hello.
Yeah.
Like that's what the Whedon cut was. This had I care now.
Yeah.
Like
you really care.
You care. You don't just care about him. You care about his mom. You care about his dad. He didn't have a mom in the Whedon cut.
Yeah, his mom didn't exist for all of this. It was basically like a Disney movie.
That is so weird. So okay, in this movie he loses both his parents.
Yeah, see, you're still finding
new things. He didn't lose either.
Yeah.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry. Well, this is a spoiler discussion.
Yeah.
It says it in...
Yeah. Let's just to be safe, let's try to keep our beginning talk spoiler.
I think we should just spoiler it because it's otherwise we're gonna.
I guess it's an old film.
The other thing is the movie. We're gonna go on way too long because then we have to talk about 4 hours of footage and then talk about the spoilers. So
okay.
Yeah.
So our warning, just full spoilers.
Yeah. Well, let's mainly focus on what's different of the movie. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people have seen the Whedon cut.
I mean, we can keep like the big spoiler, that ending. And this, okay, I'm gonna say something. I watched before I saw this. Before we talked about seeing this, I watched a reviewer I like who's talked about movies, and he's like, he just talked about like the film and like the different cuts, and then literally he's like, by the way, there are actual spoilers. Click away if you don't want to see the spoilers. And I was thinking, no, there aren't. And then he said the big spoiler of the thing that happens at the end with the flash and everything, and I was like, oh, there are spoilers.
Yeah, okay, there's a lot of footage we haven't seen.
I'm just gonna say right now to like. I like the movie. It's really good. I recommend it if you're a DC fan. If you have HBO Max, you should definitely go watch it, especially because you can watch it for free. Go watch it. Like, it's 4 hours long, so you're
Yeah.
gonna have to make a day of it.
Yeah, for
but,
sure. But it's not any extra.
But
charge
another
either.
nice thing about this movie is it's kind of divided into like 8 parts.
6.
I think it's 6,
But then
yeah.
there's the epilogue.
So
and then
really
there's
7.
at least one other. Okay, there's at least 7 parts.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So because the movie knows how long it is, I think they did that. They literally go part 1 and then part 2, because I think that's their way of saying, yeah, we know it's long.
Take a
go to the
break.
bathroom, get a snack.
Oh, hi,
Yeah,
kitty.
this
You
is
know?
basically how it would feel watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier back to back. Oh, special
Kinda,
guest appearance from Kitty.
Hello,
Here we go.
cat.
You're just gonna make
She was
Andrew
watching the
sneeze.
film with us the whole time.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe we should. Andrew has allergies, so we should.
We'll just hold her here. She just wants to sit between.
Hurry, Kitty.
Yeah. But yeah, I recommend the film, especially if you're a DC fan. I'm a DC fan.
And
I thought it was
I'm not a
amazing.
huge DC fan, but I am a fan of DC comics and shows and games at times. I just generally
Yeah.
prefer Spider-Man.
But this is how the movie should have been, honestly.
Honestly,
Pretty much everything about it is better.
Yeah, from what you
except
told
for the
me.
length. That's it. It's a little too long, but there's
Yeah.
not much I would want.
But honestly,
taken
if
out,
the studio
so.
had come if the studio had come and said, Zach, we'll let you keep everything in your movie, we're just gonna cut it down to like 3.5 hours, maybe 3, but the core section of the film is gonna stay the exact same, I would have watched it in theaters at least twice. Like,
Yeah.
I can watch a 3 to 3 hour movie. It's just 4 hours. If the theater decided to add intermissions
That
for
would've
it,
been great.
I could easily watch this
Yeah,
movie in
you know,
theaters.
Yeah.
you'd kind of have to with a
Like a
movie
half
this
hour
long.
intermission, maybe 50.
Yeah, wait, so how long? Well, because Lord of the Rings, the
The-
Return of the King was 3.5, and people stomached through that, but it still would have been nice to have an intermission. So,
The original theatrical release is like 2 hours.
oh, that's it.
No,
No.
it's 3 hours.
It's
at
3,
least. I
okay.
can
The
tell you
original
that.
one is?
It's so
Yeah.
long.
I'm gonna double check that because I don't think it is.
The man who's never seen is like, no.
What?
You
No,
wrong.
Justice League.
Oh, we're talking about Return of
Oh,
the King.
Justice League. No,
I was saying Justice
I we were talking about Lord of the Rings.
No, I know. I was saying. Well, that's why I said the original cut of.
You,
We thought you meant the
I was
we're
talking about this
saying
film.
Lord of the Rings,
No,
and then you
and I
say
have-
original
And
theatrical.
I have seen the
cut.
Lord of the Rings film.
No, I know
it's been a while.
the Justice League is 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
that's
know
what-
that. We know that, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
which
yeah.
now I understand why they cut out so much important shit.
Yeah.
That's why the movie was so damn messy,
Yeah.
because it's just jumping from one thing to another, and
It's like
yeah,
from going
some
point A to
really
point
awkward
C.
comedy. And now I know why it felt awkward. It was shoved in. It wasn't in the original cut.
Because they
Yeah.
were trying to make it like a Avengers movie, and it wasn't that. And
Yeah.
and Zack Snyder understood that with this cut. Like he understood what the film was about more.
You know,
I'm sure
I know they
articulating
said
that.
that they don't want to keep continuing with this film, but it is doing really well. They might continue with this.
They
again.
should. Because this film sets up.
Yeah.
First of all, this film has Darkseid in it. Darkseid's not in the Whedon
Yeah, he's not in the
cut.
Whedon cut
This film has
all.
Darkseid, and they build him up really well.
Yeah.
Like, also, by the way, this movie has better effects than the Whedon cut. CGI
Yeah.
is way better.
To be fair, they did spend extra money to retouch up all the CGI.
I know, but
of this
I'm
thing.
impressed. Like, I was
Yeah.
expecting. When I heard they were adding in so much, I was like, oh, and they're obviously not going to have a huge budget because this isn't like a
Oh
theatrical
no, they said it's
movie.
at least 71 million.
I found
Yeah.
out later, yeah. Like,
which is a lot to put into a recut of a film.
I
One
was
that's not even
shocked.
going to theaters. Yeah, I mean, as far as we know.
I mean, that's amazing. Like, it's, you know what this reminds me of? This, you know Full Metal Alchemist?
yeah, I know. She
So,
doesn't. But.
know this
Full Metal
title.
Alchemist is a anime based on a manga, like every anime is. But like I don't know the whole story, but apparently the anime wasn't very loyal to the manga,
Yeah.
so they remade the anime with like the same voice actors and everything in a way that was more accurate to the manga, and they called it Full Metal
Full
Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah.
This is the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood of movies. I don't think has this ever been done with a movie before?
Not that I can say,
No,
but
yeah.
So this is kind of a moment in history
Kind
for
of.
Hollywood.
if there
And it
has,
really
it
succeeded.
probably isn't. I mean, besides extended editions, I don't.
The only movies I know of that have been remade to make better with the same actors are when we went from black and white to color. A lot of black and white movies were remade in color,
but they weren't reshot
like
that way. Yeah.
No, they were completely redone with the same actors and everything, like Ten Commandments and stuff, like huge movies. I think they did that with Ben-Hur also.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. But this is definitely, this is the first I feel like that's not like an extended cut. It's like, this is more of the vision he wanted. Like, you know, they only had an hour and a half of Joss.
And by the way, most
footage.
of the footage that's new to us isn't actually new footage. They filmed this years ago.
Yeah.
It's just Joss Whedon cut it out.
It's his version. It's like, it feels like a different version.
I mean, they did say there is some that they that new stuff they filmed, but most of it was not new stuff they filmed. It was just stuff we hadn't seen.
They didn't put in the original.
And you know, it runs really seamlessly.
Yes.
I was sitting here thinking, all right, let's see which parts were added in and which parts are old footage. And I'm sitting here like, I can't really tell.
Yeah, it just works.
Yeah.
The only things that I might think are new footage are the person who talks to Lois in her apartment.
Yeah, that might be new. Yeah.
I'm trying to say that without exactly spoiling it.
Let's not spoil that.
But if you've seen the film, you know exactly.
And it was like, I was just sitting here like, whoa, we're doing that?
It was a cool idea.
I was sitting here like, did not expect that. Very sudden, but sure, that was me over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were both excited. And Claire was just like, huh? Oh.
I was like, who is that?
Yeah, I'm like, well, I'm glad it's a good Easter egg for you guys. Yay.
Yeah, it makes me want another Justice League film. It does.
Yeah, it just really feels like it should continue. And like now that this version is out, you can tell they want to expand the world so much more in this.
Yeah, like they've set up more heroes for upcoming films. They've set up more villains for upcoming films. They've set up a whole nother timeline.
Yeah, holy crap! Like,
which
I guess
if you saw Batman v Superman, you probably know what we're talking about.
Which explains the random Flash scene.
Yeah, which now we know what that Flash scene in BVS was all about.
Yeah, the scene where he comes in, don't let Lois die. Yeah. I was so confused when I saw them down in Superman. I was like, what?
I was like, isn't it a little early? I wasn't, I kind of had an idea of what he was saying. I was just sitting here like, isn't it a little early for this? This is the second movie in the franchise.
Yeah. Can we not? Can we just not
we have to like do this already? We're already doing Batman v Superman, and then the end of that movie, I was like, oh, we're doing Death of Superman 2.
And then an intro to Justice League.
Yeah, I was like, that movie has so many problems, we're not here to talk about.
So after we see the Lois Clark coffee scene at, where did we go next? Was it the Amazons?
I don't remember the exact order, but the Amazons was early on. So let's just talk about that.
Well, they went to the Amazons first, and they cut to it later,
Oh, yeah.
With the box.
Well, the original version of the Amazon scene, I remember I liked it. It was a cool chase scene.
Yeah, it was a cool chase scene.
This is a battle.
This is this is like Lord of the Rings theatrical to Lord of the Rings extended, because this scene was already cool, and now there's more in it.
Yeah.
There's like way more.
More in it and more of it.
Steppenwolf does a lot more fighting in this movie, and the Amazons are actually kind of a little bit of a worthy opponent for him, because you see parts where they like almost get him down, and parts where they slow him down, parts where they almost stop him, but he keeps over.
Yeah, and they keep getting the box away from him.
Yeah, exactly, and it makes it feel more like, he's not just some invincible foe. He's just like, he's formidable, but he's not fucking unstoppable.
Exactly.
And I like that.
Same. It makes you like.
And as a person who just only saw this version, how did you like it?
What, that scene?
Yeah, just...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was going to... Like, the stakes were so much higher.
Yeah, in this version,
like, you could tell that everyone was like, oh my god, we have to protect this box. I don't know what the fuck the box is at this point, but we gotta protect it.
Yeah, and honestly, they make... Throughout this whole film, by the way, they make Steppenwolf actually dangerous. In the last one, he was scary, I guess you could say, but he wasn't really hurting that many people.
They changed up Steppenwolf's design also.
Yeah, his design is...
He's better.
So
he's way better. He looks better.
Let me show you a picture. You keep going. I'm going to show you.
Yeah, and also we get scenes where, like, Hippolyta, you see how much she cares about her people, because she, like, reacts when the Amazons die. She, like, goes up to them. She actually, like, occasionally will veer to, like, save one of them, like, from, like, an attack or something.
Yeah, it feels like, I feel like a real battle, too. With,
Yeah.
like, these people, like, lives are precious.
And you see her, like, bond with her Amazons.
Yeah.
Like, how, like, that is. And it's good for world building. It's good for the character. It, like, makes things more interesting.
That's how he looked in the original.
Oh my god! Wait, what? This looks just like some weird prosthetic bullshit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I didn't think it was that different.
It was.
It looks so much creepier in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got this cool, like, armor effect now where, like, the armor, like, moves like it's alive,
and there's, like,
or something.
spikes coming out.
And, like, there's this scene where the Amazons all shoot him with arrows, and then he does this movement, and all the armor breaks all the arrows. And one of you was like, well, that's a flex.
That was her.
That was you,
Yeah.
And I was like, literally.
Yeah.
And there's actually...
He literally
intimidating.
flexed the
Just to
arrows
show how
off. It's
dangerous he is, he
hilarious.
literally picks up a horse with a person on it at one point
Oh,
and just
yeah, the
throws
poor horses in this movie.
Maybe that wasn't the
Rip
original version,
horses.
but I don't remember it.
He took out
Yeah.
a lot of horses.
Well, yeah, he's just he's intimidating and very, very threatening, but he's not like this unstoppable force of just, I'm bad guy, I evil. Like, he feels like a lot more, like all the characters, he feels more fleshed out.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah, Steppenwolf has, like, so much more character in
Yeah.
this film. He's got such a better motivation and shit
Yeah.
going on. Original movie, this is Steppenwolf's motivation. Must get mother boxes. Where are my mother boxes?
Yeah.
And he grabs one and looks at it. Mother!
Yeah, like, what?
Mother! I don't even know how to explain this. It was
Yeah.
so... He knows. You don't know. I can't imagine what this
sounds
sounds
like
like
a
to
joke,
you.
yeah.
He's just, like, putting them together. Mother! I remember sitting in the theater, like, I don't remember this from the comics.
Yeah, and you're like, why does he have a box fetish?
Yeah, but in
like,
this,
what's going on?
he doesn't care about the mother
In
boxes
this,
at
like,
all.
he's not getting them just to get them. He's getting them because apparently
Or-
he, like, something went down between him and Darkseid, and he, like, betrayed him, and now he regrets it, and he's trying to earn Darkseid's trust back, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of pressure on him to get these mother boxes and conquer this world so that he can go back to
Yeah.
Darkseid's, well, side.
Yeah.
And, like, even if that doesn't sound like a lot, you see it in his expressions and how desperate
Yeah.
he sounds in his voice, how much he wants to go back to his former glory. And, you know, a little part of me was like, you know what? I want you to win. I want you to get it.
Yeah, I mean, like, his motivations are very human, you know? His motivations are literally like, I don't want to be ostracized anymore. I'm seeking acceptance from you to get back into, get back with my people.
I have
like,
to
it's a
capture
very,
the Avatar to reclaim my honor.
Yeah!
and so, like, you sympathize with him a little bit. You don't want him to win, but you get it.
Yeah, it makes sense, and it's an actual motivation. It's so much better than mother, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
And,
whatever that
and a big thing
so
that
dumb.
they re-show that original fight scene with the ancient people fighting off.
Yeah, the alliance, the battle of
There's
five
three
armies,
big
basically.
changes with that scene. In the original version, it's just Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
In this version, instead of Steppenwolf, we see Darkseid.
They're
fighting.
actually fighting Darkseid in the
Yeah.
ancient battle,
'Cause he's
which
there
makes
in the
more
movie.
sense.
Yeah,
And
he's
they
actually
beat-
in the movie.
And they beat Darkseid, which explains why Darkseid's not coming right
Like,
now.
I remember, like, actually, this is another thing when I was watching the Whedon cut. And in the Whedon cut, during that scene, they just show Steppenwolf fighting them. It's like a horrible villain, the most evil Steppenwolf came to us. And I remember watching that, I was like, Steppenwolf is Darkseid's underling. He's not the big bad of the world. Why would he be there by himself? And in this, he's not. Darkseid is there.
I don't even think Steppenwolf was there
I don't
at
think
that
he even
point.
he was even born yet. At
Yeah,
that point.
which just shows how ancient
Because it was
Darkseid is.
5,000 years ago. And then, yeah, the humans, the Atlanteans, the Amazons, the Greek gods, and one of the Green Lanterns all together fight against Darkseid. And yeah, they had that. You know, by the way, something I need to tell you. You know how in this movie, when that ancient battle is set up, you see them all standing together and you see the gods getting ready to fight and everything? In the Whedon cut, they don't show that. they show it's like the Amazons, the Atlanteans, and men fought together. You see them all fighting, and then just out of nowhere, suddenly you see Artemis shooting it, and then she just offhandedly says, "Oh yeah, even the gods joined in too." And I was like, "Well, that's sudden."
Yeah, it's also like they're.
And then also, then suddenly you just see the Green Lantern guy. It's like, oh, and also fighters from other worlds showed up too. It's like, did you forget to say that? You forgot to establish things.
Yeah, it's not just an issue of like Whedon not having the right tone for the film. It's like he didn't really even respect the lore. You know, of like being like.
I think it might be because Whedon was just brought in suddenly, so maybe he didn't have time to research.
I'm not completely blaming him. I'm just like, they really screwed the pooch.
Yeah, it's just it's not really anyone's fault 100%. Zack Snyder had to leave the project because of a family tragedy.
Of course.
So it's just a sucky situation.
Yeah.
It was.
But it's like Joss Whedon, like you said, like. Steppenwolf is his underling. Why would he? He wasn't even born yet. Like, why didn't Joss Whedon know this? Like, you know what I mean? And why did they allow him to be in the film and not?
Also, that
guy.
That Dark Side.
That ancient battle is longer in this version.
Here, you might remember better if you see how it's spelled.
No, you're showing her. Okay.
Just kidding.
Fine.
Yeah, so it's longer in this version, so you get to see more of it, which I was grateful for because it was a cool fight.
Dark Side.
Yeah, and you see Zeus and Ares before Ares was evil, I guess. Ares and Zeus and Artemis together were the ones who took out Darkseid,
which makes sense.
While the other armies were fighting off the parademons. Yeah.
And one big thing that they do show that actually is important, not just to this film, but to the extension of this universe, is they show Darkseid hits the ground. You see the symbol, and then later it turns out Steppenwolf sees it, and he's like, "Oh, it is the anti-life equation."
Yeah, so that's their setup for why Darkseid would come back to Earth.
Yeah.
Because apparently the reason, like, he wants this planet is because the anti-life equation is there. And in the comics, that's basically the DC equivalent of the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
Like, it really is.
So they're clearly setting up more films.
Yeah,
and
like,
it sucks that they might not now.
I want them. I want more films.
Yeah.
Because, like, this felt like I want to see more of Darkseid, and also Desaad is in this movie. For anyone who's read comics, that's another one of Darkseid's underlings. He has a pretty significant role.
Yeah,
and
the guy who went, "I told you so."
Yeah, literally at the end when Steppenwolf fails, he looks at Darkseid and goes, "Told you." Told you he'd fail. And then Darkseid's like, "You did." It makes it sound like they've had this conversation a few times.
Okay, if Darkseid can't take over,
you know, he's gonna fail, I'm sure. Yeah, okay, then later. I told you it would fail. You did. Get it? Shut up now.
Okay, okay. If Darkseid can't take over Earth, I owe you a Coke.
And also, you can see next to Darkseid in some scenes, there's Granny Goodness, who is another character from the comics.
Weird character,
She's so weird that I really want to see how they do her in a live-action cinematic universe.
Yeah.
She's so weird.
She doesn't have any lines. You only see her.
You just see her there, and I'm like, I was just so giddy when I saw her. I was like, that's great.
I mean, this movie somehow even made, like, you know, what's his name? Joker, who played Jared Leto's Joker, not
way better,
much better.
Bad.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there was nothing wrong with him in this film.
Yeah, that's why I just said way.
Yeah, it was way
It's like,
better.
way to go, you're not screwing up.
Yeah.
Who did this? Did Snyder didn't do?
No. I don't know who directed it.
No. We looked it up the other day. It's somebody who is not loud.
And that explains. Honestly, if Zack Snyder had been like the Kevin Feige of the DC universe, I think everything would have fit way more, and
I can't guarantee it would have all been good, but it would have fit together better.
Yeah, it would have been better.
Like,
because I love a lot about Zack Snyder, but he does screw up. Like, he screwed up a lot on Batman v Superman.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few fantastic scenes in that. The Batman warehouse scene is one of my favorite scenes in all of movies. Zack knows how to do action. He knows how to make things look good. But sometimes he screws the pooch a little when it comes to story. Not always. I like Man of Steel. I thought the story here was good, even though it was very long.
He just kind of screwed the pooch with
it's just Batman v Superman, he's trying to shove too much in where it didn't belong. This is Justice League. Having a lot in makes more sense here.
Yeah.
David Ayer directed Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And he has directed
nothing that I recognize.
The Fast and the Furious.
Oh.
That explains a lot.
Oh, he directed Training Day?
Yeah, he has some good
that's a good
ones
one.
ish, from what I understand. Birds of Oh no, he's an executive producer. He didn't direct it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nothing like I'm like, oh, I love that film, you know. But anyway.
What was I gonna say?
So we talked about the big fight, and we see the green. This film honestly could have easily been PG-13. It
didn't need to be R
because
they say the F word twice, and there's 2 scenes with some blood in them.
Yeah, they cut off the Green Lantern's hand, and you see it come off with the blood. You could see.
I was talking about the water scene and the Atlantean hitting the rock.
Yeah,
scene.
like his blood.
Yeah, but the water scene you could easily
take the blood out of both of those.
Yeah,
exactly.
Even though that shouldn't make it rated R anyway. But we're not here to talk.
I think we need to redo the whole rating
system's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. But anyways, so we after that scene we go to.
Though that is something I appreciated, because sometimes when a film is rated R, they'll like try really hard to make it rated R, like just like cursing left and right, even if it doesn't fit the movie. They don't do that here.
Yeah,
they're just it feels like they weren't planning to be rated R, but they weren't actively trying to avoid it either.
Yeah.
They were just like, we're just gonna make a movie, you rate it whatever the hell you want.
Zack Snyder, just go ham. Okay, you do.
Honestly, I could show this to a 12-year-old, and I doubt they would.
I don't think a parent would be like, "Oh my god, this is too violent," unless they're really strict.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, like an 8-year-old maybe, but like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, they'd probably be like, "This is fine."
Yeah. Oh, we've got the Wonder Woman bank scene.
Oh, that scene is so
which is way better. We see more of it.
Like, it was good in the original
The villain
film,
is
but it was
more
short.
like sinister, and we see more of Wonder Woman kicking ass. At least I think we do.
Yeah, we definitely do. Like, we don't see her doing that.
Because I don't. The one where she's stopping the bullets from hitting people. That's in the Whedon cut.
It is, but it's done very differently.
It's done a little differently. Okay. And in the Whedon cut, I swear they turned the saturation up to 10.
Yeah.
Because here it feels... I remember in the Whedon cut, her outfit was so shiny and everything.
Well, that's because that's just Whedon's style. Everything's very bright
I think
and
it was a
colorful.
response to everyone complaining about how dark BVS was.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, we didn't mean literally... I mean, but like that's not the
It's like, here's how we fix the problem.
It's like,
okay, it's either 0 or 100, guys. There's no in between.
Let's find a medium.
Yeah, there's a lot of great action with Wonder Woman jumping around, kicking things.
When I say that, so like in the original version, we do see her like jump in front and block it, but she's going like block, 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 block. In this version, when she's blocking the bullet, she's literally going.
It shows how much harder it is, right? Yeah, how much more she had to work.
I thought we saw that in the. I don't remember.
We don't. I think what I'm saying is we see it, but it's not nearly as fast.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, I'm pretty sure there was definitely more. Of
it was better. It was drawn out. You actually understand the villain a little better, and you see how dark and evil he is. Like, he has the hostages. He's not important.
Okay, yeah, because I thought he was going to be a part of the movie more, and he's like a one-off villain.
I like that one scene where like the sniper is aimed at him, and he knows they won't shoot him because he has hostages, so he just hello.
Yeah.
And literally,
that's such a DC
there's this part
thing.
where they're talking about the hostages. He's like, I only have them to bide time. I'm just gonna do whatever I want anyways and blow us all up.
He's pretty evil, yeah.
Then there's this, after Wonder Woman saves everyone, there's a scene that feels a little weird where like there's this girl and Diana's like, are you okay? And the girl's like, can I be like you when I grow up?
Yeah.
And she says, you can be anything you want. And
except
like,
not me, because I am.
We literally for like 3 minutes straight just came, well, you wanted to be like me? No, I'm a god.
When she said, can I be like you? I was just like, no.
But it was a cute scene. It was just a little cheesy.
It just felt a little.
For the movie.
It felt a little bit unnatural. Like it.
But it also kind of it does feel like that's what a kid would do.
Maybe I don't know.
And it shows like Diana's like kind heart and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you could be like Batman.
I thought it was a little more on the nose when she gets in the fight with Steppenwolf and he goes, it was you're mine, and she goes, I belong to no.
Yeah, it wasn't a. I
don't think that's the right comeback, Diana.
Yeah,
like saying, he doesn't literally mean you belong to him. He's saying he's gonna fight you. That's the kind of response Drax the Destroyer would make. I do not belong to you.
To be fair, she is like 500 years old.
She didn't understand the same, maybe.
Yeah, but she knows what a cyborg is. She should know what your mind means.
Yeah, well, she's not good at the comebacks. I mean, she hasn't really been.
That's true. She's not one of those those quippy
You know,
comebackers.
I feel like
Spider-Man.
the actual Wonder Woman, like if Steppenwolf was like, "You're mine," and she'd just be like, "If you say so," and like kick his ass or something.
Well,
Or,
they
like,
show that
maybe
she
not
can't by
exact-
herself.
No,
She can get
like,
pretty close.
Or
Yeah.
like, you know, or like he'd say, "You are mine," she'd go, "Oh no, you're mine."
You know what I really
or
want? I
something
want a
like that.
quippy, humorous female superhero like Spider-Man.
Who
I
would be
want
the
that.
closest? Spider-Gwen? No.
Miss Marvel's kind of like that.
She's kind of like
Yeah,
that,
that's
but not
good.
quite that level.
Yeah,
'Cause I
they're-
could-
I'm trying to think what female superheroes have a lot of quips.
I feel like there's just not as many, which is fine. I'm just saying, like, I wish she would have been like, if it was another superhero woman, she would have been like, "You're mine." She could have been like, "Ew, gross," or something. But then that's also kind of cringe.
I'm trying to
so-
think of a superhero female that is.
Uh,
Maybe Silk? You guys don't know who Silk is.
Anyway,
Just
it's
say
not
that.
one of the
relevant to
spider.
Yeah, she's one of the more recent Spider.
You know, in the Justice League show, I don't know how accurate this is to the comics because I haven't read a lot of Vixen comics, but Vixen I think had a lot of quips in the Justice League
Vixen's pretty
show.
quippy sometimes.
Yeah, Vixen's cool. I
Yeah, and like
Vixen.
I mean, and yeah, or like someone like Harley Quinn, but not like the
yeah.
anti-hero, like some
yeah,
kind of
Harley
like
Quinn's
that.
a villain, so yeah.
Yeah, it
Well,
doesn't
not
really
anymore.
count.
Now she's a anti-hero.
Yeah, she's kind of in
In the
between. In the movies, she's very in between now, especially with Suicide Squad and
Well, it's more with the not with Suicide. I guess with the Suicide Squads. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, but what I was saying with like those comebacks I had with Wonder Woman earlier, I was saying because Wonder Woman likes to fight. I feel like so if he says "you're mine," she's like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to how this is gonna go down."
But anyway, so we get from that scene, then we actually get to kind of see Cyborg's character a little.
Yes, Cyborg has so much character in this. You see how he was created. You see how he had his accident. You see him
Yeah.
playing football. You see he has a big arc in this movie. He talks to his mom.
he has the biggest arc.
You feel bad for him, and you also feel for his dad because you see
Yeah.
his dad's reaction to what happened to him. You see his dad's regret. His dad has a pretty
Yeah.
heroic moment in this movie, actually.
Yeah, that scene was really good. With
There's
Victor's
some
dad.
heartbreaking scenes with Cyborg in this film, and
At least
why I
3 of them.
like-
and you
to
know,
see a
one thing I
Cyborg
didn't
movie.
like in the Whedon cut was like in the Whedon cut, the scene with him and his dad is literally just him bitching at his dad, going like, "You turned me into a monster. You know about monsters, don't you? You don't want to look at what you created." There's just a whole lot of that in this film. At one point, he just says, "You know monsters, don't you? You know how to make them," and that's it. That's the only time he says something like that.
Yeah. Like
And,
he's
like-
mad at his dad at the beginning of the film,
Like-
but by the end of this film,
A lot of the anger he has at his dad is just him like not talking to his dad, which feels a lot more natural
Yeah, it
and
feels
how
more
someone
natural.
like that would act
He's so
instead of just going,
processing.
"How could you do this to me? How could he fucking saved your life?" Okay, I get being a little upset about it, but constantly like nagging about it is annoying. Like,
which is again, we're saying thankfully they didn't have it in this version.
yeah, that's why I like this version better. They touched on it a little and in an understandable way. And they have moments where you see Victor have character. You see him like trying to do good things for someone, and you see him smile when it goes well.
Yeah, like and they explain his powers in this too. They didn't do that in the last.
exactly. Like they go into it.
Like his
That's
dad has
good.
this whole like recording tape where he's like, "You will have, you can fly, and
You can do all these
yeah,
things.
you'll be
basically
strong.
telling him what he can do because
And-
the dad knows because
yeah.
he gave him all these.
You'll be able to hack into every security system as if it's
Yeah,
easy."
and he's like, "You could hack into all the nukes of the world," and I'm like, "Ooh, probably shouldn't have."
And he's like,
done that."
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there's literally a part where he says, "The hard part won't be doing it. The hard part will be not
Yeah,
doing
I
it,
know.
controlling
Yeah,
yourself."
I heard that
And that's like that's a DC comic.
Yeah,
thing.
God's trying to be humans.
Yeah.
And then literally, like, the first thing he does when he gets his powers to hack into everything, he hacks into the bank, sees someone who is broke,
and has
and
just been evicted.
gives them a bunch of money.
He just like when she's at the ATM, he has this message about, "Congratulations, you've won the Gotham Bank sweepstakes.
Whatever the
Here's
hell that
$100
is."
grand."
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, okay."
Which wouldn't
she's
you?
so happy, and
Yeah, it's
and he's
great.
just there like, "Oh." And I remember when I saw that, I was like, "Aw."
And then he walks away, and he's not wearing his hood, so people look at him like,
yeah, people who walk by stop and they're like, "Whoa," as people would do.
Yeah, it's
People don't
more
just walk
real
by
and
like, "Yeah, that's a
brutal."
cybernetic
And then you see him
man."
put his hood
Listen,
on.
For me, it was Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Cyber Sunday.
Completely agree. It was much better than the old version.
It definitely was.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
And then after him, who do we get? Do we get Aquaman? I think.
Yeah, we get more of Aquaman.
Yeah.
We don't like have flashbacks with Aquaman or anything, but we get a scene with Willem Bloody Dafoe.
Oh, I wasn't thinking about that scene. I was thinking about. So this.
You're thinking about the scene with
You wanna
Batman.
complain
Yeah.
about
So
that?
the original scene with in the original Justice League, it's just them talking. He's all like, "I'm not gonna help you," and then he just jumps in the water. In this scene, they have a bit more of a dialogue about it. How he's like,
Yeah.
"I'm not ready to help yet," blah blah, and then he swims away. But
and then one of the scenes that probably could have been cut.
yeah, they just have them like start singing this Icelandic
the villagers start singing an Icelandic.
funny.
Oh, and by the way, Aquaman, when he's walking away from Batman, he does something everyone does in this movie. He takes off his shirt, but that's in the
But
original
he
cut.
doesn't need to take off his pants or anything.
He's like, no, I'm not
else.
going to take off my pants because we're not going to get this movie,
It's not
unrated
X-rated
or anything.
Yeah, but like I can't wear a shirt right now.
Batman, listen, we are 40 minutes into the movie. We need something for the ladies.
Yeah.
Ladies, keep watching. Here's my
Don't
Momoa
worry.
body with all my gorgeous tattoos.
And then later, don't worry, Superman's shirt's off too.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
But then, like, as they're
there's
singing-
more, and as they're singing, yes, one of the women who comes up to the camera and picks up his shirt.
That's what you're
And
doing.
I don't know what was going on here. She sniffs the shirt while singing. She's singing like Les Mis style, and I was just like, what is going on?
Her teeth are all janky.
And while they were singing, Batman left. He was like, nope, I'm
don't
not
need to be a
having
part
this
of it.
scene.
Meanwhile, Zack Snyder's like, no, I'm gonna keep rolling. This is gold. This
It's
is
like,
gold. She's in
Ben
some
Affleck
language.
was just like, nope, I'm going to the cast table. I'm not having this scene. Zach, are you still filming? Shut up. Yes, sniff it.
My question is, which is worse? These holding the camera on these scenes, or having the camera in someone's face like this in Falcon?
Oh yeah, I don't know what was up with that. It's like, hello.
Yeah, that's a whole other.
This is the
thing,
week
though.
of weird camera
Yeah.
angles.
It's just so funny because it was like she was obsessed with it.
Oh my god.
Anyway, it's not relevant.
Jeez. Yeah.
So then we get to the Flash.
Yeah, the Flash. Okay, and we're coming up on another really weird scene.
Like, it's okay.
So Flash comes in, and he's late because even though he has super speed, I know it's a thing in the comics, but isn't he normally late before he gets the super speed?
Even after he gets his super speed, he's sometimes late because
He's doing other things.
Yeah, he's like focusing on early on in his
And
comics.
it's weird because he comes in and he talks about missing a bus. It's like, you don't need a bus.
Well, I think he wasn't trying to use his powers too much.
I
Because
guess.
they show you later destroys his shoes.
Actually,
to
there's a couple of continuity errors with that, but I'll get to those. I'm gonna go over it. So he comes into like a pet store, and the dogs all start barking at him. I don't know if they sense the Speed Force or whatever. Oh, and
Yes.
this woman who I'm guessing is Iris comes out of the building, and she's a very good-looking woman. And he's just like, ooh.
Yeah, which I'm guessing is
Yeah.
his future wife.
22
I know.
Scravage said.
Yeah, it develops more than Batman and Wonder Woman. I agree with
Which,
you.
yeah, we were just saying.
Well, that's what we're going on.
Cyborg so
Yeah.
much more now with
So
With the Flash.
yeah, Flash. He goes into this pet store and he goes on this, his improv comedy routine about the bus and how there's a woman on the bus counting her coins and
Nicholas
he's
Dimes.
like
Cringe.
she's got Lord knows how much time left and this is what she's supposed to be doing. And I'm thinking this could be funny. I just don't think you're delivering it well.
Yeah.
Like it's just I
mean-
was sitting here thinking I should be laughing at that. I'm not laughing.
Personally,
at that.
I liked it. I was like, it gets a little bit of a chuckle for me. But
And then he pulls out his resume and he's like, yeah, here's my resume. And I'm like, nobody says that.
It's like, what is this joke?
I mean, I say that weirdly.
No,
to
but
the
you
person
do.
they're applying to?
No, not when you're applying to a job.
I think the point is to say that he's so nervous. He's
I thought
Yeah.
all his jokes after this scene were good.
Yeah, actually, surprisingly,
yeah.
his introduction where he's supposed to be funny was
Yeah.
the weakest part.
Yeah,
But-
absolutely.
And then some idiot truck driver who's eating while driving and drops his sandwich and has to reach down for it because he's an idiot and an idiot.
instead of
scenario.
pulling over to get his burger.
Starts like rams right into Iris's car, and then Barry, he stops time because he's in super speed and he runs over there. And does he start to save her immediately? No, wait.
Oh,
the
God.
priority before we save the girl, first we must. Oh, and the weirdest song ever is playing during this.
I'll be her.
Yeah, he like reaches up and like touches her hair. While this music is playing, we're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And it's like
this weird
slow-mo
emotional
of slow-mo, because
music.
we're already in a slow-mo super speed,
Yeah.
and we're slow-mo touching the hair. We're thinking, okay, you done touching the hair? Okay, now he's gonna save her. No, he's not, because we must grab the hot dog out of the air. Second priority.
All three of us at the same time, like you better not be doing something weird with that hot dog.
You were saying, you better not put that in her mouth, you freaking weirdo.
I'm sure Zach Snyder would have gotten canceled.
Yeah, and then he puts the hot dog in his pocket, and we're thinking, okay, so now he's gonna save her. No, now he starts like positioning her, I guess, because he has to have her. And then he finally puts her on the ground. And we're like, well, that certainly took long enough.
Yeah,
what was that all about?
And then it shows the reason he cut the hot dog.
And then he undoes the super speed, and so this girl's just been hit by a car and now suddenly flashed to another area. Does she react like, what the hell's going on? Or, oh my god, or what? Or
I would be having a
or even
heart attack.
gasp? No, she's just there like,
Yeah. Like she wasn't just about to
that's
cream
it.
into a truck.
That's literally it. She just smiles.
Yeah.
That's
Like, oh, he's
she
kinda
doesn't have
cute.
a line. She doesn't have a line in this.
Oh no, she does have the one line where she's trying to start the car, where she's like, "You're supposed to be friends right now," but that's
Yeah, but
Oh,
she's
I
talking
didn't
to
hear
herself.
that
It's a
part,
throwaway line.
because all I was hearing was Ezra Miller doing his routine, and then Ezra Miller does something that's a little bit funny. Apparently, the reason he grabbed the hot dog was then he zoomed back into the pet store, and like the pet owner sees him there. He's like, "Oh yeah, I always keep a hot dog in my pocket, so I can start Monday, right?"
That means I'm hired.
He's like, "Yeah, oh my god, I hope all those people are safe."
Yeah.
That was actually kind of good, even though
It's
the
a
hot
little
dog thing was
funny.
weird. But,
Although,
yeah.
also one thing is his shoes get completely destroyed while he's super speeding because they can't handle it. But
Yeah, wouldn't the pet lady realize he's on one shoe?
yeah, that's one thing. And another thing is they've. By the way, when he goes back to his lair, he already has his suit ready there. So, like, I'm not saying he should wear the whole suit everywhere, but couldn't he just wear shoes that he makes himself that can withstand his speed?
Maybe, but I think he's only just started making this prototype.
Or at the very least, like, wear something under his regular
Have
shoes.
some
I
backup
don't know.
shoes.
Like,
Maybe he has something on the bottom of his feet to keep. I don't know.
I don't
doesn't
think so. I
matter.
didn't see anything, but it's weird because if I were him, I'd want to be ready to use my speed at any time.
I would just
you
have
know?
backup clothes.
Especially, I don't
Question
know.
about him: is he really smart too? He is, right?
He is.
That's why he can make the suit?
He's not. He's not a genius,
Okay.
but he's smart enough to like work CI and everything.
Yeah,
Right,
So in
okay.
the original comics, he creates an experiment that gives him his powers because he was smart enough to do it. Sort
Yeah,
of.
they didn't establish how he got his powers in this.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a long discussion, but it's a long goddamn movie.
Yeah, it is a long. I mean, we're only 47 minutes in.
Yeah, so that Flash scene was weird. That Icelandic scene was weird, and that slow-mo coffee scene could have been quicker.
Yeah, the slow-mo of him saving her was definitely the weirdest for me.
That was the scene I would have cut out.
But then honestly, after
just
that,
showed
the
me.
film is just fine.
yeah, I can't think
Like-
of any scenes after that I would have like.
I might have cut down a little, maybe, but I wouldn't cut
Yeah.
any scene all the way
Out,
altogether
yeah.
out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Um,
Like, it didn't... Little things, but not, like, huge scenes except for those
Yeah.
two.
And then I think the next scene we get is actually what's Batman? Oh, the arrow, but that was from the original film. That's nothing.
yeah, the Amazons fire the arrow of Artemis to
Which
light
was cool.
the braziers so that. It's called a brazier, isn't it? The brazier. Brazier. My
I was like, they're
mistake.
gonna light the
Yeah,
bras?
light the bras on fire because they're women.
80s.
Feminism!
Brazier.
Oh, that's why it's Wonder Woman 1984.
Exactly! The bra burning generation! Okay, we got off topic there. That was my bad.
Braziers. Oh, that's fun.
Braziers.
They light the temple, whatever, so that way, the rest of Middle Earth can light theirs, and then Rohan can see that, Minas Tirith requires aid, and Rohan will answer and help Gandalf in the wars to come. Oh, no, wrong movie. Sorry. It's so that
what?
Wonder Woman will see it and know that she needs to go talk to Batman.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
they go talk and they start talking about recruiting people, and then as they go off, he already said that Aquaman said he wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And then we actually finally get to see Steppenwolf fight them in the water instead of just show up, I have the box.
Yeah, like what was like a 1 minute scene in the Whedon cut has been like now you see more of Steppenwolf getting each box. Each
Yeah.
box is a journey for him.
Yeah.
Each box a lot
He
happens.
had to try. He had to work hard to get
Yeah,
it.
like he gets into a real fight with Mira, and then there's a really cool scene where she tries to pull all the water out of his body, and he like bitch slaps her afterward.
Yeah, and
while
even
she's trying
Zack
to do-
Snyder made her minor part really cool
It's like,
and made her
she was-
interesting.
She was basically blood bending.
Yeah, I know.
It showed her even stronger than we
And
thought.
then right when he's about to attack her,
Yeah.
Aquaman comes in. They actually kind of go toe to toe a little bit, but then Steppenwolf's like, "I fuck this, I'm done," and he beats up Aquaman.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll answer that question when we get a little later because
Aquaman
that has to
and
do with
Steppenwolf
later
fighting
stuff.
underwater.
Oh, he knocks out Aquaman?
Well, he like beats him down, and then he gets them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, before that, we have a scene with Willem Dafoe where he and Willem Dafoe's character who is in the Aquaman movie makes an appearance here. I wasn't expecting it. I was very happy to. I expected it after I saw his name in the opening credits.
Yeah.
And he
I
was like,
remember.
Willem Dafoe!
Yeah,
I'm like,
yes, I love
nice.
Willem Dafoe.
I love Willem
Dafoe
Dafoe,
is
too.
great.
Who doesn't?
You can't not like Willem Dafoe. If you don't like Willem Dafoe, I don't like you.
You're not even real.
Like, I don't understand why you hate fun in anyone who has ever
Yeah.
had it. So yeah, Willem Dafoe is he brings Aquaman his mother's trident and the armor that he wears. And he says, "You need to put these things on to honor your mother." It's like, oh, that's where he got
has
those.
it.
In the Whedon cut, he just suddenly appears with them. It's weird.
Yeah, it's very
Like,
weird and forced.
It's weird, man. It's
Yeah.
weird. What? I don't understand. Yeah, it is. Again, it's just like the Joss Whedon one just seemed like a puzzle piece with a bunch of pieces missing.
Yeah,
It wasn't
and-
a full
And
puzzle.
yeah, so Willem Dafoe, I already don't remember his name, Volko or something.
Yeah.
He's some guy.
Velcro.
He's a
Velcro.
dude.
So Velcro talks to Aquaman. Velcro talks to Seaman, to Seaman, about
sure. Yes.
about his mother, and they talk, and it establishes his character and what he's dealing with, and what he needs to do. So you learn a lot more about Aquaman in this version. Later he talks to Mira in a way that you learn a little more too. I think some of that was in the Whedon cut, but Velcro wasn't. So,
Yeah.
I love Velcro.
I
It's
love
great.
Velcro.
Velcro is very convenient.
So innovative. It was just ahead of its time. Anyway.
So we've given Cyborg a ton of character. We've given Flash a really weird scene, but we've given him character because he also talks to his dad. And I think he talks more with his dad in this than he did in the Whedon cut.
And it was emotional.
I'm not 100% sure, but
It's a good
Cyborg?
scene.
Flash, yeah.
In the
Yeah, he
prison.
definitely does. The only times I think you just see him talk at for 5 minutes at the beginning and 2 minutes at the end, and that's it.
Uh-huh. And
But
we've given
shorter.
Aquaman
Way
we've given Aquaman not as much as we've given Cyborg's the one who gets the most character in this, I think.
And he needs it.
Yeah.
And it makes sense to. Here's what I think they should have done. I think they should have given Aquaman a movie before Justice League came out.
Mm-hmm.
They should have given Flash a movie before Justice League came out. They did right by Wonder Woman. They did sort of right by Superman. I think it was dumb to kill him in the second film, but whatever.
he also had a whole
and they
film
should
to
have.
himself.
Batman should have had his own film before
Yeah.
Batman v Superman even
Yeah.
happened. But I think introducing Cyborg in Justice League, the movie, is fine.
I
because
agree.
I feel like he got a full
whole
arc in
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And I feel like they covered it really. His story had a beginning, middle, and end, and I was with him the whole time.
Yeah.
100%.
Like at the end, when his arc concludes with the mother boxes, which I'll talk about later, I liked how that went, and I liked what he said, and I was like, yeah.
And he was willing to die to protect the world because of his father's sacrifice, but
Yeah.
it wasn't a suicide mission either, which
Yeah, it was
going to
like-
be predictable if he died.
They were
I
like,
was
you
not
could
thinking
die.
so.
He's like, well, we'll die if I don't do it.
Yeah.
You want it. He brings up this thing that he didn't bring up in the Whedon cut. Like, he tells Wonder Woman, you told me I have gifts that I should use, so I'm using them.
Yeah,
now."
absolutely. And he's so all of these superheroes are so vital to defeating.
They feel like
Steppenwolf.
heroes in this.
They're so
Like,
important, and like you guys pointed out, the Flash just saved some civilians at the end of the other one.
Yeah, that scene's not in this.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, that didn't need. It's just that if you remember the Whedon cut, that random Russian family that's there for no reason other than to be saved by Flash in a 1-minute scene later on.
Yeah.
That's gone, which is fine. We didn't need that. That
Yeah, it was
weird.
kind
Yeah.
of pointless.
I don't want to jump ahead though, so let's.
Well,
sorry
after
for
we
bringing
get
that
to we go through the Aquaman and Steppenwolf getting his second mother box, then we go back to the team again, and Cyborg is burying his mother box in his grave.
Yeah, because everyone thinks Cyborg, Victor Stone, everyone thinks he's dead because they don't know his father saved him with the mother box. So he has a gravestone,
next to his mother,
and that's where he buries his mother box. But then it doesn't really play into anything because later on he just has it again.
He just
unburies
so
it.
technically we didn't need that scene.
Yeah, that's a scene actually we could cut out.
That's something you could cut out.
I get why he did it because he wanted to show his grief with his mother dying. Everyone thinking he's dead.
You could have
but
just had him
still.
at the grave looking at it.
Oh, actually, there is.
You didn't need him digging it up.
You still don't need that scene, but there is a little bit of importance to it. Is why it's not in his house. Because remember at the beginning, it's in the closet.
I guess.
And
but
then the guy
remember when he went to meet Wonder Woman, he had a duffel bag over his shoulder. I think he had the mother box with him. I think he kept it with him at all times up until that grave scene.
Yeah, you're
because he knew that there was something coming for him. So I think he again, you could have just had him have it with him.
Yeah, but anyway, so Steppenwolf is sending his parademons out after them. By the way, they actually call them parademons in this version. I just realized.
They don't call them that?
Did they not in the original?
I don't remember. I don't remember them calling them that.
But they also explain where they come from in this. I don't think they did that.
They definitely did not.
Oh, yeah, how they're like the other people from the world.
When you get all three mother boxes together, they basically apocalypse the world and turn all its residents into parademons.
So they're like these minions, basically.
Yeah.
They're powerless.
I wonder, does Darkseid have to feed all of them every day?
I think that's why he changes them, so he doesn't have to feed them. They don't need to eat anymore.
Yeah.
But anyways, so he
is Wonder Woman daughter of the Queen of the Amazons and Zeus?
Yes.
There's two different versions of her story. One, she was sculpted from clay. Two, she's the daughter of Zeus. This is daughter of Zeus version.
Yeah. That's why she's so much more powerful than the other.
And I like that version better. It makes more sense.
And so anyways, they have so Steppenwolf is now trying to find these mother boxes, and what he's doing is the parademons can smell it, like it's scent. And so they're like following the tracks and kidnapping people, and they've kidnapped Victor's science team and his dad, or his dad's science team.
Yeah.
And it's that scene we got in the original, but in the original, it's like this whole thing, these enemies are getting attacked, and we have this whole scene with Flash being like, I don't know how to fight, just save people. Okay. And it's like this really awkward scene. In this one, they see them captured, and they're just like, okay, we're gonna save them, and they just
we gotta go in there and kick some ass and save some people.
Yeah,
and there's a pretty cool, there's great action scenes with all of them. You see Wonder Woman kick ass, you see Cyborg kick some ass. Cyborg didn't kick much ass in the
No, he didn't.
He had barely. Again, Cyborg was just there. You see Batman kick some ass, and you see Flash you see him like some scenes where he's like dodging at super speed, just like woo, like, and then he like super speed just like pushes a parademon, and because he does it at super speed, it goes.
Yeah, it just goes flying into
I like that stuff. Good action in this film.
And then he like protects people from getting the stuff at you, that stuff falling on, stuff
falling on them.
Yeah.
And then so we have that first fight with the 5 of them versus 4 of them technically, because Aquaman hadn't showed up yet.
Yeah, Aquaman shows up at the end of this scene.
4 of them fighting Steppenwolf, and then Steppenwolf kind of kicks their ass, but he decides to leave.
Because he doesn't know where the other box is at this.
Yeah, and in the original version, they break that pipe and the water starts coming, and Aquaman shows up and just stops it. But in this version,
it's more of a struggle.
Yeah, and he doesn't even really stop it.
Yeah, he doesn't. He just holds it back while they get out of there.
Which is so much better. It shows like they have to try.
Yeah, and then
there's more of a threat in this movie.
Yeah, and then Victor Stone
in the old movie, I wasn't worried about anybody at any point. In this movie,
you're just gonna
worried. Also, because somebody dies in this movie who didn't die in the original, and I remember doing this. I was like, oh shit, is he gonna die?
I didn't want him to.
I didn't either. I was sad.
Yeah. And so then we get the mother box, and they're like, we have to bring Superman back, and
they realize they can.
And
actually the way they come to that conclusion in this version makes a lot more sense. In the Whedon version, I don't even remember exactly what happened. It just Batman just pulls it out of his ass.
Just like, we can do
just like it's like, oh, these things can like change matter. He's like, they can? Then they can bring Superman back to life. And they're like, what?
I got it. Superman.
And they're like, what? No. And he's like, yes.
But in this
one, they sit around talking about the mother box and what it can do, and you see them all start to slowly realize, wait a minute, does that mean we could? And Flash is just like, okay, we're all thinking it. I'm not saying it. Who's gonna say it?
Which is actually
and
I liked it.
Victor Stone, the person who's connected to the mother boxes, actually brings it up first. He's like, they can change matter. Life and death don't mean anything to them. It's just like a 1 to 0. They literally say like, you can you could burn a house down and the ashes are still the same particles, and they literally say like anybody can light a match but turn a house into
can turn a house into smoke, but these can turn smoke into house.
I love how they explained it too. It's just so perfect for the average moviegoer as well. Everyone could understand that metaphor.
You understand it before they even say it.
So they can turn dead Superman back into living Superman.
Yeah, and they realize they really need to bring him back because Steppenwolf and everyone was afraid to come there because Superman was alive before.
Yeah, and
so they realize how important he is.
In the Whedon cut, they have a scene where they're digging up his body, and then they just cut to, all right, we got his body, we're on the Superman ship, which we somehow got into, and it's time to start this shit. In this version, they like show how they got into the ship.
Well, they show them digging the body. They talk about.
Also, there's a scene where Wonder Woman and Aquaman are talking.
Yeah, they didn't talk
that
at all in the original film.
They said almost nothing to each other.
Yeah, it was
There's
a great
so much banter
bonding.
and character building and group building in this film
without being cringy.
And also, one thing that's nice about you might be thinking we don't need to see them get into the Superman ship. Well, one reason for that is there's also a part of that is Silas Stone, Cyborg's father, helps them get in there, and it's a moment where Cyborg nods at his dad and he appreciates. It's like they're starting to make amends, and it makes what happens later all the more sad.
Yeah, because he was breaching into it,
so
and then he stopped.
Yeah, he breaks into it. There's a whole alarm, and Victor's dad is like, "Wait, this doesn't make sense. This isn't happening." And he starts calling the head of security. And he's like, "It's a false alarm." And then he sees his son and the Justice League. They haven't called themselves that yet, but he sees them walking in, and he's like, "Never mind, it is actually happening. Keep everybody out of the building.
Everyone out. No one comes in without my say so."
Yeah, he's like,
and the person on the other end, well, this doesn't sound weird at all. Of course, sir.
But anyway,
honestly, if I were on the other end, I'd be like, "Sir, is someone holding a gun to your
I'd be
head?"
like, "You're
That's
being
what I
held
would be
hostage."
thinking in my head.
And then he comes out of the. Then they get on the ship, and they show Cyborg. He's like, "I'm able to connect with its mother, with its interface."
But we don't have enough power to jumpstart it, and it's like, and Flash is like, I can do that.
Yeah, I can do that, but
he has more of a role in this film.
It kind of breaks the laws of time and physics, but I do generate a lot of energy.
And then it creates kind of an interesting scene, because while Flash is running, we see this flash forward to a dark timeline, and I'm not sure if it's the same dark timeline at the end. Do you think it is?
I think it might
Could be.
It might be, because we see one of the Leaguers dies, and they're still dead at the end. So actually, it might be the same one.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if they were two different possibilities or the same one.
Yeah, maybe, because in the alternate reality thing at the end, Diana's not alive, right? And in that cut, they show her dead.
So so there's an alternate reality where Darkseid wins, and then Superman turns evil, and Injustice, yada yada yada.
Yeah, which is a cool idea. I don't really know why it was in the film, but I liked it. But anyway.
They bring Superman back to life, and
this is one of the best scenes, in my opinion, when they fight Superman.
Yeah, there's
he thinks they're threats.
Some great action, and there's scenes where Wonder Woman can almost hold her own against him, which works with the comics. You can tell that Zach read the damn comics, because he knows how they would hold up against him. And then there's that Flash scene that I love.
To be fair to Joss Whedon, he did keep the core of that scene in the original version.
Yeah, that was one of the better ones in the Joss
Whedon. But there were a couple things he did cut out, like how much more brutal Superman was being to them. And they also cut out the
there was one
arms.
thing Joss added in, which I liked a little bit, and it's not in this film. It's when Superman is fighting with Flash, you hear there's this ominous version of the Superman theme song going on. It's like dum 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 dum. They don't have that in this one. I was listening for it, but it's fine.
It's nice not to have music.
And then
scenes.
here's the thing: before this scene,
they had music, but it was different music.
But right before the scene, they actually show Lois Lane at her apartment, and Martha Kent shows up, and she's like,
"Oh yeah, here we go."
And she's like, Lois, I've talked to Perry White, your boss. You haven't been back to work since Clark died. You need to get back out in the world. Excuse me. I lost the house, but I found a place near the diner.
You have to keep living.
Yeah, you need to keep living.
Come back to the land of the living.
Yeah, come back to... Just because Clark is gone doesn't mean you have to be too. And then she steps outside, and it turns out, spoilers, it's not Martha Kent. It's Martian Manhunter.
Why did
Martha Manhunter.
But then I would like to know, why did he go there to get Lois Lane to like move on.
I think
that's one of the scenes that's added. That's new.
For the alternate reality, like trying to prevent her death. Maybe?
No, I think he said the world's gonna need you. I think it's because here's the thing: Martian Manhunter can read people's minds. I think he knows about her connection with Superman, and he wants her. Back. Yeah, maybe, or like.
Yeah, I just
because in the Justice one thing I like in the Justice League TV show, the way the Leaguers come together is Martian Manhunter brings them together, actually, because since he can read the minds of everyone on Earth, he finds all the people who are the goodest and have like the best intentions and are the most heroic, and he unites them. My guess is maybe he did something like that in this continuity, and so he knew about Superman and he knew about Lois's connection to him, and he wanted to help her.
Yeah, so in the Justice League comics, he brings the Justice League
together. Not in the TV show. In the comics, there are other ways.
Okay. Yeah, there have been several versions of them getting together.
Okay.
In the Justice League TV show, like Superman and Batman save Martian Manhunter from something, and then suddenly all the other Leaguers show up, and Batman's like, "What are they doing here?" And Martian Manhunter's like, "I called them. I used my powers to find them. They're all the greatest heroes in this world."
He's like, "Thanks for saving me, guys. Here's everyone together."
Yeah.
The only thing, by the way, that reminds me, the only thing that I don't love about this Justice League movie, that I don't really feel like is true about Batman, is how easily he lets people know he's Bruce Wayne. Batman, for all intents and purposes, doesn't believe he's Bruce Wayne. He believes he is Batman. He spends a lot of this film not wearing his cowl, being like,
was he more like hiding
time,
Batman? Hello? Was he more hiding his identity with the
in animated movies he's wearing his cowl?
No, in the Joss Whedon version it's basically the same.
No, I know, but I mean like in other versions in Justice League storylines, he's like hiding it from the other,
Yeah, literally there's a point in I think the Justice League TV show where I think it's Flash or someone doesn't even know he's Bruce Wayne until he's literally forced to tell.
He takes off his cowl once in the TV show.
Yeah,
and it's when he tells him his identity.
Like the lasso of truth. There's literally a scene in the comics where Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman meet for the first time. They all hold hands like, we're gonna reveal who we are, and she says, "I'm Princess Diana," and then Superman says, "I'm Clark Kent / Kal-El," and then Batman just goes, "I'm Batman," because he believes he is Batman.
So her lasso of truth is more like a lie detector.
No, it makes you tell the truth.
It makes you tell the truth.
But he believes he's Batman more than he believes he's Bruce Wayne. You can't lie
while you're holding it.
He does. Okay, so it's like what you believe.
Yeah. So one of the things with the Snyder Cut is there is more brutality in this. Superman's more brutal during that fight scene, but it does still end with Lois like pulling him back, and it makes more sense that Lois is there.
Yeah, there's a version she just shows up.
She just suddenly appears. It's just a wild Lois appeared. In this, she was already in that area, and you see her see the beam that brings her back to life, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And she heads over
and that's
there.
Why she's coming
you
there.
See her like find out what's going on and head down there. And there's more of a scene, I think, with Superman slowly getting his memory back and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Superman there's a scene where Superman goes to his Fortress of Solitude, which is a ship in this version instead of a crystal fortress. Yeah. And like you see the they've got lined up like different versions of his costume from throughout the comics run, which I like. And there also you hear like him remembering what both his fathers have told him, which is a really nice scene. And he puts on the solar power suit, which is good because that's accurate to the comics too.
The black suit.
All of that is nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we actually get to see... We slowly get to see him get his memory back, whereas in the Joss Whedon version, he's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm Superman."
Oh, duh, I forgot.
And just like, "Lois, oh my god, you're here, and I'm Superman, and I remember my bank codes and everything." I don't even...
Sorry for trying to beat you guys up.
My god, when I was 5 years old, I threw a fire truck at Billy Tomas. I don't even know.
And then so we get them all, the 5 of them, because Superman isn't with them yet. They're preparing to fly off to stop Steppenwolf.
Right.
And their plan is completely different than the original. The original is, we're just going to stop them. This one is,
we got it.
This version is, okay, we're going to fight him off. Then Victor is going to try and connect with the mother boxes, but he can't do that normally. So Barry, you need to run around in a circle and create an extremely powerful electric charge to power boost him.
It's like Batman's like, all right, so I'm going to use my ship to blast open the force field. And I'm going to cover you guys from above. Victor's going to hack the mother boxes. Flash is going to build the energy for Victor to hack in. Wonder Woman and Aquaman, you two are going to fight off Steppenwolf while they're doing this. They have a plan, and everyone has a role.
Yeah, everyone has a vital, important part to do to defeat this guy.
In the Whedon cut, Flash's job was to push one family out of there. In this, Flash does a lot more.
Yeah.
He's literally vital to the entire success of the Justice League.
Absolutely, especially when one thing goes wrong and they have to, rewind time.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to get to
that. The action with them fighting Steppenwolf is great. I really
big spoiler that we're going to get to because we're at the end of the film now. And this is actually a oh wait, we forgot to mention about what happens with Victor's dad. I'll put that in spoilers too.
Okay, this is a spoiler. So for the third mother box, I don't know if you remember this in the Whedon cut. Here's how Steppenwolf gets the third mother box. We suddenly see a boom tube in the distance, and then we see it go away, and they go, he has it. Yeah, that's it.
Like, what is he also like the Flash? Why is he going so fast?
He shows up, he's angry, he's like looking for it, he busts into Star Labs, and Victor's dad realizes what's going on, and so he goes and he sets up the mother box, like he shoots a laser at it. You think he's trying to destroy it, but you find out later he was superheating it so that they can track it later, because he's smart. However, also, while superheating it, the laser also reflects and kills Silas.
Yeah.
Right in front of Cyborg.
In front of Cyborg. He watches his dad die.
Which is so sad and tragic because he already lost his mom.
I was sitting here thinking, is Silas gonna... I don't want Silas to die.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he didn't die in the original. I wasn't expecting that.
He wasn't even a part of the main action scene.
The movie is actually almost completely different.
Really
this is not the same film. They are not interchangeable. It's a completely different experience.
And
Batman was more laid back.
We actually see Batman in the end fighting more of the parademons in this.
Yeah,
killing them.
There's so much more action. Batman's shooting them down. He's getting on, like, the parademons have Gatling guns.
Yeah, we see Cyborg using both his blasters while flying, destroying.
He uses his sonic cannons. He didn't use them in the original.
He used them like a couple times.
He used it once to hit fucking Superman.
Yeah, and it wasn't his choice.
Yeah.
And then we see Flash hit a couple of them, but then he starts doing
Flash doesn't have that much action in the final one, which is one thing I would have liked more of, but he's doing his, like...
Yeah, he's still doing something important, not just pushing.
I would have liked to see him fight a little more first, though. That's what I would have liked.
We see Wonder Woman and Aquaman fighting people. What did you say?
Oh, I was just reading what SS... Batman was more laid back and not as brutal as he normally would be. Yeah, for sure. He was definitely laid back. He's like, I'm in a sweater.
They were more coordinated, absolutely.
Yeah, they were way more coordinated.
It's great. I love it.
And
Steppenwolf looks... We already said this.
Yeah, he looks great.
Yeah,
that's right. We actually get to hear some dialogue from Darkseid, too, in this.
Yes, we see... And one thing I really liked is, like, the way when... So Steppenwolf has been talking on Rock FaceTime with Desaad, and I like that. And then when he says, Desaad, I just found out the anti-life equation is on this planet, which I find that's one thing I found a little weird. Darkseid didn't know that, but didn't he know it 5,000 years ago?
He knew it,
or did he just not know what planet it was?
I think he didn't know what planet it was. He was just conquering planets, and he happened to find it. And then because he lost, they
probably didn't get a chance to, and maybe that's why since then they've been like trying to conquer every planet, because he said, I've been looking for the anti-life.
I've been looking for this forever.
Okay, so yeah, that's the one part that I thought was a little bit of, okay, maybe this we have to say.
Yeah, a little vague.
But here's the difference between that and, you remember Wonder Woman 1984? There were like 50 different times where I had to go, well, maybe this. This is once.
And it's small, and you can kind of connect the dots yourself.
Yeah, this is one time where we have to come up with the answer. Wonder Woman 84 had way too much of that. That's not a terrible movie, but this is
it's not as good.
Way more flawed than this.
This is my example. You can have that once in a while, but if that's the majority of your movie, you've got a problem.
Then it's like I feel ripped off.
But back to Snyder Cut Justice League.
Yeah, and one thing I really liked that I was going to say is, like, when he says, I found the anti-life equation, Desaad, like, steps away from the FaceTime, and Darkseid comes into the Rock FaceTime, and, like, Steppenwolf is like, oh my god, Darkseid! And he takes his armor off, he's like, you're coming here? You're going to see me, Daddy?
He's just like he wants to be loved.
He clearly loves him like a father. Like, he he's so, like, you see his motivation right there. You see why he's doing this.
He seeks acceptance so bad.
And it's this character who can be so intimidating and yet so vulnerable. That's really impressive
for a villain who we don't know a lot about.
Honestly, for a CGI villain, on top of that,
absolutely, for a villain we've never heard of until this movie.
And so then we get to the big fight, of course, at the end. And in the original one, you see Wonder Woman show up, she starts fighting him. Then Cyborg shows up and he starts fighting him. And then Aquaman shows up and he starts fighting him. And then Superman just saves the day.
Yeah, and Superman's just like, I'm here.
Superman just drops in and then
But no, not that yet. Okay. I'm talking about in the original one. In this one, though, Cyborg, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman all show up at the same time and all start fighting him at once. So he actually has a threat to hold him back while Barry is trying to do the charge-up thing.
Yeah, they're like buying time.
And then Cyborg goes up and he starts to connect and he's like, okay, Barry, on one, I'm going to do it. And he goes 3, 2, and then Steppenwolf stops him and he starts beating him up again. And then he tries to do it one more time, and Superman shows up.
Superman pops in as like Steppenwolf is about to strike, and the axe hits and does nothing. And he goes, Superman just goes, "Not impressed."
Yeah, he just goes, "Not."
That was like one of the best lines.
For the first appearance in the cinematic universe, he uses his ice breath on the axe, and he just shatters at him. Like, it's just like, oh, Steppenwolf, you're fucked.
Yeah. Superman is so brutal to him.
Beats the shit out of him. So I have mixed feelings about that, because on the one hand, it's really awesome. I love it. On the other hand, it feels like it makes Superman feel a little Deus Ex Machina, like it's too easy for him to beat Steppenwolf.
Yeah,
but on the other hand, it is really cool, and there's more threat after.
Yeah, and then Boom Tube starts showing up, and you see Darkseid, Granny Goodness, and Desaad, and they're ready to come through
because now it's too late. Like, the mother boxes have united.
Yeah, because Barry gets tripped by a blast.
Because Barry, before he can get the electricity to Vic, he gets shot by a parademon. Yeah. And now the world is starting to be destroyed by the mother boxes.
Everyone but Barry dies.
Yeah, I think it's because Barry vibrates or something, or I don't know.
It's because it was still. I think it was still catching up with him.
I think he was vibrating himself to heal.
Yeah,
he was at super speed. So when the wave went through, he probably phased through it or something.
That might make sense. Yeah.
And then he went into flash time and started running to reverse time, and during it he's talking to his dad. His dad's not there, but he's saying or something like, "Dad, I know you think I'm not doing anything with my life, but I'm doing this," basically is what it boils down to. And like you asked over there in the chat, I don't fully understand the difference between Barry reversing time and traveling through time. Because sometimes it's kind of weird, because sometimes Barry travels back in time and there's his past self there, but then there's sometimes he reverses time and he is his past self.
So really, he wasn't time traveling here. He was reversing.
It's a little weird.
It's hard to know the difference.
Time travel is always weird. Is a problem.
There's always different versions.
That's what I don't really like time travel in stories, because it's always
inconsistent.
You can't figure out exactly how it works.
Time travel makes things really complicated.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I personally always think if you cannot include time travel, maybe don't include it.
That's
but it's being used more and more, and it's not bad here. It's just a little.
I never understood what
confusing.
The anti-life equation was.
Neither did any
of us. It depends on what version you're reading. I think one version is literally where you can just cause death immediately.
Just imagine it's as powerful as the Infinity Gauntlet, but DC.
It's their kind of take on it, but it's not. There's no actual stones, so it's not the same, but it is that kind of thing.
But so Barry, and literally as he's taking a step, the world is getting rewritten.
In a really cool effect. You watch the world rematerialize as he
ground.
Yeah.
And you watch Superman and Cyborg rematerialize as heroes, which is probably another reason for the R rating, because you can see some blood and stuff rematerializing as well. And then he touches so that's Flash's arc kind of.
Yeah.
And then he puts the like lightning into past Cyborg, and then you get the conclusion of Cyborg's arc. The Mother Box is trying to trick him by saying, I can give you your old life back, I can give you your parents back. Like,
and then he's like,
you won't be broken anymore, you won't be alone anymore.
Like,
and then he like grabs it, and he says, I'm not broken and I'm not alone. And you know, that felt good to hear. Like,
and that was one of the best.
And it shows him tearing them apart. In the original version, he just shows up.
In the original version, there's none of that. It's just him and Superman pulling it apart.
They cut so much out. So like they cut out how important the Flash was to like reversing.
Flash didn't need to be in the movie in the Whedon cut.
They cut out how important it was. Like he was.
Oh no, that family would have died.
Honestly, Hitman Cyborg didn't really need to be like Cyborg. Kind of.
Just Superman needed to be in the movie.
Well, yeah, because in the Whedon one, from what you told me, he just shows up and is like, I tore the boxes apart. Everything's fine now.
Good.
Yeah, and it's like, no. Like, they had to reverse time to save the day, and then Cyborg had to fight his, like, inner demons, or whatever you want to call it, to keep the boxes from going together. And it, like, just shows how much harder it was.
And then as soon as he does that...
it feels like Cyborg's a little bit of the main character in this.
He kind of is, but in, like, a good way.
Yeah,
not
in a good way.
He's not overshadowing anybody, but... His story is the most important.
Like, he got his story in this movie. I think he was the only character who didn't need his own movie before this, because his arc is covered very well.
Yeah, like the Flash and Aquaman, we did need kind of more of this.
Yeah, we at least needed an Aquaman movie before this film. Yeah. Like, if there was one other character that you could have gotten away with not having a movie, I'd say it was probably Flash.
Yeah, but even then,
it still would have been better with it, though.
I would have liked to have seen, like, how his dad gets framed for the death of his mother. Like, that would have been cool.
They said it in kind of a clunky exposition way.
Which
where
is
it's
fine.
just like, Barry, why are you applying to CI? Oh, that's an interesting question to be asked by my father, who is currently in jail for the murder of my mother, for which he did not commit.
Yeah.
That is exactly what he says. I wasn't exaggerating.
I was like, he didn't have to say that word for word to his dad.
That's a weird way to talk, Barry.
Yeah. He's basically like talking to the audience.
Like in Spaceballs, when they list their whole plan, and then Dark Helmet goes, "Everybody got that?" Like, that's literally the joke.
Audience, here's what happened.
I felt like Barry's dad should have turned around and went, "Everybody got that?"
A little bit.
Yeah.
But it's and then fine. As soon as they take the mother boxes apart, Steppenwolf was like, "No, you cannot stop me!" And all 6 of them beat up on Steppenwolf. They cut off one of his horns.
Shit out of him.
Punch him.
Like, Superman lasers a horn out.
Yeah.
Then Aquaman stabs him from behind.
Skewers him.
Throws him into the portal, and as
he's going into the portal, Wonder Woman's like, "He's not dead enough."
She does a backflip, and
you guys, they got a double tap.
Of course, Zombieland rule number 2.
And they cut his head off as he's going through the portal.
And his head lands, and Darkseid just steps on it and breaks the other horn, just a triple tap. And then that's when Desaad goes, "Told ya he was gonna fail. You see, I told you."
And then Darkseid's like, "Yeah, I got it."
So it's like, "You did," and it's like, "So what do we do now?" This is exactly how Desaad talks.
Yeah, we're making it with this weird voice
what
for
we
some
do
reason.
every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Exactly. Yeah, Darkseid says the anti-life equation is on Earth. We're gonna get it, and so it sets up. And while he was saying that, I was just looking at the scene and thinking, Darkseid, Desaad, and Steppenwolf are all CGI. I think they all look really good.
Yeah, they all look pretty good.
That's by my standards, anyway.
Well, Steppenwolf in this version looks way better than Joss Whedon's version. From the picture
I don't know what the hell happened there.
That was so
I think they just weren't done with the CG, and then they just said, just get it out.
Needed that $72 million. This is Joss coming in. Can I have $72 million more, please? This isn't working.
Did the Justice League even make a lot of money?
Also, they're all well voice cast. Like, Darkseid sounds good, Desaad sounds good.
Yeah, they do have
Steppenwolf
sounds good casting with that.
What happens after the scene with Darkseid? And
then he just says we're gonna find the anti-life equation. Then you see the Justice League standing together.
Yeah, and it looks so much better than in the original.
Yeah, and there's not that whatever it was in the Whedon cut where suddenly all of the radiation transforms into flowers.
Yeah,
that felt see, everything's happy now. It's like, that's a little weird. It would be like if at the end of Avengers, when all the Chitauri died, suddenly they all turned into puppies. Be like, yay, we have puppies now.
Everything is perfect.
It's like the end of Troll in Central Park. Have you seen that? Where he just, at the end, he just covers New York in flowers.
And then we get a scene of each of the Justice League members like we did in the original, but it means so much.
Yeah, because he went on this journey with them.
In the Whedon cut, while you're seeing everyone's epilogue, you hear this monologue article from Lois Lane talking about darkness and how you can find light in darkness. And it's just, it's like, it's not bad, it's not good either, in my opinion. It's just going on. In this version, you're instead hearing a message that Silas left for Cyborg that he recorded before he died. He didn't know he was going to die. It was just something he wanted to record for his son
Cyborg
about how proud of him. Cyborg originally he crushed it, but then he put it back together
because he has mother box
powers.
It makes it so much more.
And so that's so much more. I want to hear that.
Yeah.
Like, and he talks about how proud he is of his son and how sorry he is and how much he believes in him.
And
that's so much more interesting to hear while you see the characters getting their endings.
Yeah, and you see Cyborg accepting who he is. He takes off all his clothes and becomes a robo-nudist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot to talk about this. Yeah, when Superman gets brought back to life, his shirt gets destroyed, but his hair is still perfectly done and his pants are on.
Perfect
so
hair,
this is just because, guys, we're 2 hours in, we need something for the ladies.
Yeah, like, obviously all the ladies are just so bored.
Even, like, Lois Lane takes full advantage of it later when she sees him. Oh, my God, and she's, like, touching him and stuff.
Yes, never put a shirt on again.
Oh, you're here.
Yes, Daddy.
And then, later in front of the gravestones, like, Cyborg, when he's listening to his father say what a hero can be. He's like, I can't be a hero. Time to take my shirt off.
And then before he also goes, I don't need to get dressed.
I just want to. They're like, okay, time to get dressed. And he takes off his hoodie. I'm always dressed. This is their version of I'm always angry. I don't think it measures up as well. I'm always angry. Oh yeah, well I'm always dressed.
Yeah, I don't think that line was necessary.
That was a really weird line.
That did not need to be.
I wonder if a part of me wonders if that was an intentional reference to Avengers.
It might have been.
Because it doesn't make sense because he takes off his clothes midway through the film to be like, I'm RoboCop. So when he actually takes it off later to be like accepting himself, it doesn't have the same impact. Because it's like he already did this stupid strip.
Oh yeah, there's also that weird Aquaman scene where when he's drinking the alcohol, he just goes to the end of the pier, takes his shirt off again, and then he just stands there while the water hits his body. I was like, I've never seen such a for the ladies scene in a superhero movie in my life.
What gets me the most is he went to the trouble to save that man on that fish boat, but he's still in his muscle shirt.
He had just saved someone in his shirt, so you don't even need to take your shirt.
He's already drenched in sweat. No,
he's like, oh, is the camera on me?
He's like, I got the slow-mo.
And he's just standing there like, are you still watching, ladies? I know the guys are, but this is for you.
Yeah. I'm already drenched head to toe, but I better take this off.
Can you imagine if there was a Wonder Woman scene like that?
Yeah, where
she goes and she takes her shirt off and she throws a goblet down and she just stands there while the water hits her. This would be a problem.
Maybe this is porn.
Everyone would be like, what is going on?
But I just don't like the hypocrisy of the sexualization.
I just find it. Here's the thing. On the one hand, it's so fun to laugh at, but on the other hand, it's like, what is going on, guys? What are you doing?
But to be fair, he worked his butt off to get that bod, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, maybe it was Momoa's idea. Maybe he was like, look, I work for this goddamn body, and people are gonna see it.
Well, anyways,
that's another thing that could have been cut down. Oh
my God. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, so
I think they're calling. That's why.
I know. Yeah.
Could you? Claire has to go take a call real quick.
Okay. You guys can continue talking.
All right.
So we'll just finish this up real quick.
Well, I mean, we're finished. Everyone had a happily ever after, and there's no more. Or is there?
Well, anyway, so really quickly, we get Martian Manhunter comes to Batman, and
I mean that's the end. First, we have the Lex Luthor thing. It's got that same after credit scene, even though it's before the credits, where Deathstroke goes to talk to Lex Luthor, but the dialogue's completely different. In the Whedon cut, Lex Luthor is setting up the Legion of Doom. He says, shouldn't we have a league of our own? But in this version, he's hiring Deathstroke to kill Batman, and he tells him Batman's secret identity. It's like, oh, that's interesting. Wonder where that's going to go.
Yeah, how did he get it?
Well, we know he knew it because in Batman v
that's right,
Superman, he knew who they both were. Which, all right. I still don't like Jesse Eisenberg as Luthor, but whatever.
We're gonna keep it. But I'm just gonna wrap this up real quick because I gotta do something.
I totally get it. So,
Yeah.
and then we get this post-apocalyptic future scene where apparently Lois Lane has died, Superman has turned evil, and now Batman, Mira, Flash, and Deathstroke and
Cyborg.
Joker and Cyborg are all like the Resistance now. And there's this long scene where Joker is talking to Batman and they're talking about death and who they've lost, and like apparently Harley Quinn is dead, and Batman said I'm gonna kill you someday, Joker, and I'm gonna make it slow. And it's a little long and drawn out, like,
But I like it.
I like it, yeah. We got Jared Leto back, and I really don't know how to feel about that.
He's just so much better than anything in Suicide Squad. At
Oh
least,
yeah,
but,
like
yeah.
here he did not fuck it up. So
I'm pretty sure this is one of the scenes they just filmed because it was like a reveal with that image of him on the.
I'll say
Yeah.
one thing
car,
about
but-
Joker I found weird was just how his mouth makeup is. Like instead
Yeah.
of being like painted, his mouth is just.
It was
That's all
kind
it
of
is.
creepy.
I think it's
though.
because like his skin is all dried out. You can't get makeup in the
Maybe,
post-apocalypse.
I guess not.
And then it's the Flash that we saw in Batman v Superman, the one that came from the future.
Yeah, so
Right.
so they're clearly setting up that this
There's some
alternate
continuity
future
there.
exists, and like the idea is going to be I'm sure like here's what I think might happen. I think that another one of them is going to go back in time, or somebody from the current timeline is going to go to the future and see this thing, and then end up going back and saying we have to stop Lois from dying.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So this is like
One of the
basically
two.
this scene is like what could happen.
it's basically
not
they're doing
an
a
alternate
whole
timeline.
lot of
It's
different
Yeah.
comic book stories.
But it was a great scene.
It
What
might
did
have just
everybody
been
think
a nice
of this?
Easter egg
And then
for
at the very end, we have a scene where Martian Manhunter
Yeah,
talks
Martian
to
Manhunter's
Batman,
like-
and that's pretty much it. He just talks to Batman.
I think that's another one of the new scenes.
Yeah, I think so too. I think all the Martian Manhunter stuff is new.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
otherwise, he wasn't in the film other than those two.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for more Martian Manhunter.
Me
I think
too.
he looks good in this. And it makes me really want a Justice League sequel because I want to see.
I know.
I want Shazam to join the team. I want Martian Manhunter to join the team, and I want a Green Lantern movie, and then I want Green Lantern on the team. This is
because
the
they showed
first ever
Lantern.
Justice League that has not had Green Lantern on it.
Yeah.
Every
Oh,
other
we need
time
that.
ever, Green Lantern has been on
Yeah.
the Justice League. I found that so weird.
All right, I just gotta. So, just because I have to wrap this up, what did you guys think of the film?
I loved it.
What'd you rate it?
It's not a 10 out of 10.
It's not a perfect film.
It's not
However you wanna
perfect.
define
Well, like
perfect, yeah.
no film is perfect, but 10 out of 10 would be like legendary. Like this is the
Yeah.
film in this genre
Like, it's
we would
basically
compare other
perfect.
films to.
Yeah.
But I want to give this like an 8 or a 9. I'm struggling between them.
I'm on the same side. I think I might give it an 8.
I think the main thing that's hurting it is its length a little, and
yeah.
that's because it's hurting its rewatchability
Yeah.
a little bit. And also those scenes at the end, like with Deathstroke and Future Imperfect and Martian Manhunter, those really should have been after credits scenes
Yeah,
instead
because
of
they
before
were so
the
different
credits.
from the original, the whole story thus
Yeah.
far. It was just like a little add-on thing, which was good. But yeah, I think it should have ended after Lex Luthor revealed who that.
Why does Deathstroke want to kill Batman? We don't know yet. He
We don't
says
know
it's
yet.
something personal.
Yeah,
And Green
That's
Arrow
what I was-
doesn't exist yet. That's
yeah,
the other thing.
That's what I was gonna say.
I would love to see him on the team.
I was gonna say that should have ended with Lex Luthor revealing to Deathstroke that Bruce Wayne is Batman. That would have, and then the other two
So what-
were after credit scenes.
So what do you rate it?
Again, like I almost want to give it a 9 because they were like the scenes that were good were really good, but then there was like some issues. I am doing my cop-out rating, which you don't like, but I would give it 8.5.
Yeah. That's because I'm between the two. I'm just going to join you in the
Yeah.
cop-out rating. So
I like giving solid numbers, so I'm gonna give it an 8.
I agree. I
Yeah.
do like to give solid numbers too, but it's like if Claire's going to do it, I'm going to do it.
Also, it's also like
No,
it
I
has such
understand.
good moments. I don't like 8 seems too low, but 9 seems too high. So it's like yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I wish this was the version we had gotten in theaters.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
with the 4-hour runtime, just give us like 15,
I feel like if
30
we
minute
had
break.
gotten this in theaters, or at
intermission.
least something closer to it, like the DC universe wouldn't be in the bad place it's in right now.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, now it's in.
It's getting better, but I think it would be better even.
Yeah, it would be even
like-
more.
Yeah,
better.
and at this
Like-
point, they don't even want to do the world of like the characters coming together because they feel like they screwed up so much.
I want to
Like, it's
see
just
this story
independent
continue.
films.
I want to see.
I want to see it
Yeah.
I
continue.
want to see Darkseid attack Earth. I want to see
what happens with
what
Deathstroke.
happens with this alternate timeline. I want
Yeah.
to see it all because now it's all been established with time. In Batman v Superman and the Whedon cut, everything was so goddamn rushed and messy. This
Yeah.
was the first time it felt natural and
And
like
so
it flowed
rewarding.
well, and scenes had time to sink in, and characters were all developed
Yeah.
really well.
Cyborg
See,
is
when you
fresh.
do that, it makes me want to see more.
Absolutely, and it's so fulfilling when they beat the bad guys in the end, and you see them all together, all six standing together.
Yeah, and it's really good.
Yeah.
So Claire, just because we got to wrap this up, where can they find you?
You can find me on TikTok at The Struggling Alto. I post musical theatery, kind of just videos like that. And you can also find me at Claire Young and on YouTube and on Sessions, a singing streaming service.
And Andrew, where can they find you?
You can find me on my YouTube or my TikTok, which are both called The Mythology Guy. You can learn about my card game at tartarusgames.squarespace.com and see the art for it on Instagram at tartarusgames.
And if you guys ever want to see my live stream, it's right down there underneath Andrew Zagard.
Not in his
Don't point
penis.
at my dick.
And if you want to go to my my Instagram
On
or
the
Twitter,
screen, not on it.
it's right underneath where I am.
Yeah.
Right there.
You can also find your VODs on YouTube.
VODs. Yeah.
VODs, yeah.
Yep. Yes, congratulations, Andrew, on your 20,000
Yeah!
subscribers.
Oh, thank you very much, and thank you guys. Yeah,
So
very
cool.
good.
You're now at 22 or something.
Yeah, actually,
I
I'm
think you're going to
very
keep
happy
growing,
about
and
it.
Yeah.
thank you all for stopping by. If you have anything you want to say, tell us down in the doodly-doo down below, and we will
Not-
see you all in the next one.
Bye, guys.
So long.